As we welcome in sophomore defenseman Billy Dwan to the program. Billy, great to have you on. Congrats on a great start to the season. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
All right, so sophomore year, I guess let's start with you personally. You appeared in every game last year. Now you've got 1 year under your belt going into your second year. How are things different for you personally going from year one to year two here in the program?
Yeah, I think it's more of a comfort thing. Like, obviously, last year coming from high school to coming and playing in the ACC is definitely a big talent adjustment. Not only that, but just a speed adjustment. So I feel like after your freshman year coming into sophomore year, I feel like the game's kind of slowed down a lot for me. So I feel like that's kind of helped me make the adjustments, I guess, I needed to make, to come back a better player from last year.
All right, so you're a Maryland guy. Obviously there are a lot of options down there. What made you want to come to Syracuse?
Yeah, so I'm from Baltimore, like outside Baltimore, and for me, I kind of just always grew up in like wanting to go somewhere where like lacrosse, matters, and it means something to people, not just within the school or within the program, but to the community and everything like that. So obviously Syracuse with such a rich history and kind of just drew my attention right away. And I have like some family up, not in this area, but in New York. So I guess it's closer for them to come to games. And I kind of just fell in love with the program and the people within it. And so that's kind of how I got here.
I would imagine there are, two games that stand out to you on this schedule, the one against Maryland, the one against Hopkins, coming up next month. What was it like going up against the Terps? It was obviously, the first real, true, top 10 test for you guys. It was a great lacrosse game over the weekend. What did you learn about this team? What did you learn about yourselves over the weekend?
Maryland's a great team, obviously. I feel like with ourselves, obviously, we didn't get the job done, didn't do what we wanted to do in terms of getting a win, but I feel like we kind of showed our resilience, and you saw in the first quarter we went down 5-2, and we weren't kind of playing the way that we wanted to play, and we kind of weren't sticking to the game plan, at least defensively, and we made some adjustments, and we battled back, and obviously in overtime it didn't come down to what we wanted it to come down to in getting the win, but I feel like it kind of just showed that like we weren't going to kind of lay down for anybody, and we'll kind of fight till the end.
I asked you what was different for you personally from last year to this year, and I want to ask you a big picture about the team. 8-7 a year ago. I think it's quite obvious, even though it's only 4 games in, it seems like this team is a lot better than last year's team, and that the expectations maybe this year are a lot higher than they were last year. What is different about the team from your freshman year to your sophomore year?
I feel like everybody's grown up a lot. From obviously the year before that when I was a senior in high school, but the team was 4-10 to last year we were 8-7, and a lot of people look at last year as a success, obviously with a lot of freshmen playing last year and everything like that, but we kind of look at it as like a failure, just in the sense of we didn't get done what we wanted to do, and even though we didn't make a big improvement, like 8-7 at Syracuse isn't the program standard. So I feel like for us, you kind of just been focusing a lot on the off season, the fall, on like team culture and how to get closer knit as a team. And I feel like we've done a better job in terms of being connected. If it's, seniors with freshmen or juniors and sophomores or whatever it is, I feel like we've done a really good job of just not making it more of a team atmosphere rather than, everybody having kind of cliquey groups.
Billy Dwan joining us here on Orange Nation for another few minutes, and I would imagine some of that stems from your head coach, right, Gary Gade, and the foundation that he's laid, the culture that he's trying to establish here as the head coach. What's it been like playing for him? And I guess can you kind of describe him as a head coach for those on the outside of the program looking in?
Yeah, totally. He's a great coach. I mean, he's obviously a soft-spoken guy, and he's not one to raise his voice, but like when he says something, I think it grasps everybody's attention just in terms of how great of a player he was and how great of a leader he was. And when he says something, everybody definitely listens. If it's something as big as like get your act together and like let's pick it up, or if it's something like on this play you might want to do this instead of this just because, and you kind of just see him and how great of a mentor he is to all of us, and kind of how all of us like aspire to be such a great player or a person as he is.
You've got a game tomorrow. Strange time, right? It's a noon game in the middle of the week. We don't see a whole lot of these. You've got Utah coming to town. Not a household name in the world of college lacrosse, but it seems like an up and coming program as this game continues to grow. Out west. What do you know about Utah? What are you expecting to see tomorrow?
Yeah, they're a great team. Definitely a newer program, but that doesn't take anything away from them. They're a great team. They've had a lot of close games with great teams this year. So we're definitely not overlooking them. They like to play fast, so they like to push the ball up and down the field and push transition, which is definitely something that's scary. Just everybody getting the whole it turns into a fast game and a track meet. But, yeah, they're a great team, so we're really looking forward to playing them and kind of rebounding versus after the Maryland game, and obviously it didn't go the way we wanted it to go. So we're really looking forward to, just getting another game under our belt and just getting better every day.
When we talk about expectations, Billy, I grew up in this town, and it was Final Four or bust every year, and I feel like in recent years it's kind of gotten away from that. As you said, it's a young team. You're trying to build back towards that. Do you feel like Final Four is a realistic possibility for this team? I know it's super early, but you feel like that's out there as a potential goal for this team this year?
Absolutely, yeah. We talk about it every day, and just like the championship standard and like what we're going to do in practice later today or what we're going to do in the game tomorrow, we want it to reflect on like how does it better us towards getting to that ultimate goal. And I think we have a lot of like seniors, fifth years guys that are done after this year and their last run at it, so they've kind of been pushing it to us, and we're kind of trying to reciprocate that to them as like, if it was your last year, what would you do to help those guys out, and what you want in return? So we're definitely just trying to get better every day, and our goal ultimately is to win a national championship here at Syracuse, and we're going to try and do that.
All right, Billy, I know you've got a team meeting here coming up, so I won't keep you much longer. But before we go, do you have any sort of message for the SU lacrosse fan that might be listening right now? Any message for the fans?
Yeah. I know for our team, our goal is just like keep coming out, keep supporting us. It's definitely a big deal for us. Like it was a great crowd versus Maryland, and it goes a long way. So just definitely come out, support, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow versus Utah.
All right. Well said, Billy. Great interview. Thanks so much for coming on. It was a pleasure chatting with you, and continued success to you and your teammates. Hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. All
right. Sophomore defenseman Billy Dwan joining us here on the program. And with that, we'll hit a timeout. We'll open the phone lines back up at 315-437-7644. We're back after this on ESPN.